So just for the layperson, can you just give me like a brief overview of how Aereo works?
Sure. So as we all remember, you could get TV using antennas, and a lot of people still do. And what we did was we said, well, it's harder for people who are not tech savvy to have DVRs and all these things hooked up with antennas. So why don't we make a smart antenna, this one? And the whole purpose of making it small was so we could build lots of these things in a central cloud facility in every city. And if you could do that, then you could lease out access to these antennas and DVRs to people and make it simple. And the hope was that as people are changing their habits, they will say, I can get my broadcast TV this way, and I can get Netflix, and I can get Amazon Prime or iTunes, I can rent movies and stuff. And that's a pretty compelling proposition compared to the incumbents.
It sounds great. It sounds like an awesome service. But there's just one little problem, right?
A very slight, small problem.
What's that?
So when we launched, and as you can imagine, if you're taking on this large incumbent system and say, look, I have technology that will let consumers have access to 50% of the value that you offer for 10% of the price or less, and it's purely just using technology, that scares a lot of people. So we were sued by about 17, 18 broadcasters in New York, and for copyright infringement, and fortunately the court found that we were not infringing, and then they appealed that, and we won that round as well at the appellate court, and which was great. And then they appealed that again to the entire circuit panel, and the circuit panel says, no, we're okay with this. And so then they appealed it to the Supreme Court, and in an unusual move, we said, great, let's have the highest court in the land review it.
Tell the fellow something for me, would you?
It really is a landmark issue because it really addresses what private conduct in the cloud looks like. And I think that's not unique to Aereo, because it is the most efficient, cost-effective, and consumer-friendly way to do it.
The Supreme Court, it meets on April 22nd?
Yes.
And the decision is probably expected sometime in June, and it will answer a lot of questions that haven't previously been answered by the high courts in terms of modern transmission stuff. Would you agree? For sure, and I think that's really critical, not just to us, but to a lot of people, right? If you're a cable company that's deploying a network DVR, right,
which is what effectively this is, because
right,
the courts have found there's no distinction between us and a network DVR. If you're a company that's providing cloud-based storage from which consumers can stream their media, no factual difference. So it's a big question that applies to a broad swath of industries.